We are not given the free will to make decisions on our own mineral resources. There's always Big Brother who decides. And when you fight and say, no, we are not going to do this, they use the system to stop you. It's either they set you up with the opposition and they'll be supporting the opposition against you from the back, or they cause unnecessary chaos in your country so that you are not able to even govern your own people. They will do things to make you not to be functionable. And of course, any country that don't have peace cannot develop. You have to have peace before you talk about development. I'll give you a simple example about Sierra Leone. Every mining company that is in Sierra Leone today is owned by a foreigner. Every mining company. If it's not the Chinese, it's the American, it's the British. Our electricity, Bumuna, is run by the British, and we still don't have light. We're looking for light, electricity. If you don't have electricity, how can you talk about education? How can you talk about health facility? How can you talk about improving the infrastructure of your country? We don't have electricity. Now, do we actually even have proper water? Pipe-borne water.
The same people who have the audacity to tell us that we are poor countries, they are taking trillions out of Africa every year. And what is the African doing? Like an obedient, programmed black man, we just give in. And then one might say, why is it that African leaders haven't done anything about this deplorable situation? Well, let me tell you, my brother and sister, they have tried. Documented to this day, 22 coups where leaders were assassinated. The first 7, when they decided they were pulling out of the CFA and that they're going to print their own money, they were assassinated. Every time an African leader has tried to do what's best for their country, they were assassinated. Majority of them aided by France, who felt that when there was a natural resource discovered in one country, they wanted to create a coup. So while the country is thrown into a civil war, they're siphoning the natural resource.
So these 2 videos should worry you, and then it goes to show the extent of damage that is being done in Africa. And unfortunately, if Africans are thinking that rescue is coming from abroad or above or from the West, we are lying, because these guys benefit consistently from the chaos, from the exploitation, from the mismanagement, from the maladministration, in the insecurity happening here, because they benefit from it. So like you saw in these 2 videos, thank God they are both ladies, they are telling you that these are day-to-day realities of the African society. Unfortunately, these same people that are damaged like this, that are being used, are expecting these people. You can imagine in 2024, 2025, that the Nigerian government will be building another bilateral relationship with France to come and So while countries are gaining independence and breaking forth against neo-colonialism, imperialism, and all of this, a country like Nigeria is calling France for to come and again do exploitation and exploration. It is where we are, and then you've heard them. All of the fights that we've had over the years, all of these, there's been deliberate. So they sponsor opposition. You heard the listings. Sponsor hate, sponsor attacks, sponsor insecurity. Because for a government, for example, if you are insecure, you will not be able to focus on development. You spend all your time focusing on insecurity. That's how Goodluck Jonathan's government was messed up, right? As much as Jonathan wanted to have good things done, but the attacks were getting too much. There were too many sponsored attacks against his government. It was insurgency everywhere. Spent more than 50% of annual budget. Of course, it wasn't that, again, these monies were not even used, because it was crisis, cost trouble effect, crisis in a place for people to get benefit. So why Jonathan was interested in seeing how he can solve the insecurity, but because for him it was solvable, he was giving the money to people who were also thieves. So sometimes you will just worry. So people are sponsoring attack against your country. So you are bringing money forward to solve the problems. You too go, they eat them, they increase pressure on the people. So Everywhere is messed up. And so, if you truly now, when you see that the West aligns properly with a particular African leader, there's a problem. Anytime you're in the good books of the West, they're inviting you to a conference. There's a problem because you are allies. So you are building. So we need to begin to look for leadership that do not believe in the Western ideology first and foremost. All of this, the other day is World Bank reminding us, and so that we can continue to believe in Tinubu, that Nigeria is still the largest economy in Africa. How with which statistics? We stopped growing. The economy stopped growing over 10 years ago. How did you get all that information? Because they have to continue to encourage their puppets. They have to continue to encourage their agents that they put in office to continue to keep us at bay. Because see, there's a level of, you see what Trump is doing to America. There's a leader that will come into Aso Rock and will cut off all of these IMF, World Bank, China, US, honestly aid, because that is where they're even looting from. All of these interests. Can imagine Nigeria agreeing to take loan from a group that is well known around the world to be sponsoring LGBTQ, same country where it is prohibited on our laws, and then the government. And then I can never forget the Nigerian Bar Association, and that has given me a stamp for me to understand that we are in a serious crisis in this country. The body of benchers went on to saying that they have read through. It took the House of Reps, who are not majority are not lawyers, to consider that no, there are clauses in that particular document that ties us to something. They are too ambiguous for us to ignore, and that's how the federal government halted whatever. But again, you know this country. That's what they tell us about. Yoch and went behind and said they are bought already. They may have gone to collect the money already, and then we don't know, because for Bola Tinubu, it is the no mind them, mean that they talk, we know what to do. So how do we get salvation and redemption from the same people that we cannot leave their shadows, we cannot walk away from their apron, we are still around them, we still need them? A country as big as this, with all of the expertise and exposure, with all of the resources and opportunities, yet we are still, because we have leaders who are puppet, leaders who are beggars, leaders who are not smart, who cannot think, leaders who are not creative, innovative, leaders that cannot take us through the journey with vision and with foresight. And of course, no wahala.